Do you regard black magic as being purely fictitious, or is there some truth in it?
Some truth. 100% truth. There is nothing fictitious about black magic, in any way whatever. It is a fact. It is a fact which has existed for several thousand years. I mean, when we talk about black magic, we are talking about Satanism, necromancy, alchemy, witchcraft, the worship of Satan.
Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today's video might rub some of you up the wrong way, or it might upset some of you, some of the things that I'm going to say, depending on where you are with your journey, with this information. You know, you might get quite angry with me by the end of this video, but I personally couldn't care any less because I'm just being honest, okay? And this video comes from a place of love. I don't want you guys getting hoodwinked, okay? So I'm bringing this video out because I feel like if I sit on this information, I'm actually doing each and every one of you a disservice, and I'm not here for that. So you can take or leave this video. I'm really not too bothered. It makes no difference to me. My role here is to bring you the knowledge. How you choose to act on what I'm about to tell you is entirely your call. So with that being said, let's get into this video and break down one of the biggest shills in existence, which is David Icke. And I'm going to try and make this video less than 10 minutes because I don't want to spend up too much of my energy talking about this bloke, if I'm being honest with you. So let's just get straight into it. Before we get into the numerical side of things, I just wanted to discuss something with you first. And that is just something that comes from a common sense theory of mine. And I used to think this when I used to watch Icke when I was like 14, 15. Can one of you please explain to me, hand on my heart here, I would like a genuine explanation. And if you have one, please put it in the comments. I'm not trying to be sarcastic. Can you explain to me, please, how somebody can sell out Wembley Arena by calling the Queen a four-dimensional reptilian being? I'm going to say that again, okay, just so we're both on the same page. How the fuck do you sell out, yes, sell out every seat in that bitch, Wembley Arena, talking about the royal family being reptilians, while now researchers online can't even garner 1,000 views as soon as they talk about reptilians, but we got this man over here filling up Wembley Arena talking about the Queen drinking loosh and interdimensional entities, Zionism, telling everybody the ins and outs of what he believes is going on. Guys, please think logically here, right? Do you really think that that would be allowed if it wasn't already given the go-ahead by somebody? I mean, people have been murked for a lot less, you know, and I'm being serious here. People have lost their life for a lot less. Now, please, again, think logically here. Do you really think that the conspiracy community is not full of sleepers and disinformation agents? What's the easiest way for them to control a narrative that's getting out of control? Put one of their own in there, start leading the discussion on it, control the story. And this is exactly what they've done with Icke, okay? And like I said here, at this point, I'm just talking from a standpoint of common sense. And we will get into the numbers shortly, but you know, stating the facts alone with this story just makes absolutely no sense. The Terry Wogan BS was a ritual to discredit his public image that he had built over the years, being a literal politician and a fucking professional football player. It's like people just forget that part of the story, you know. So he had to do or have a ritual played out in the public eye which discredited him and made it look like he'd turned his back on that past life where he was fully in with them. He was a politician and a footballer. Ras, people. And that Terry Wogan thing worked out perfectly for them, because what it did was it made you lot believe that he was against the powers that be. Wrong. He's a sleeper. He's just been injected, and this was all part of the plan. Now, just in case some of you didn't know, Icke saw a whole new lease of life following the COVID incident, and he seemed to be literally all over the place, which of course would make sense because he had to get his narrative. And the thing that controlled opposition do is they mix truth with falsehood, okay? So they'll draw you in with truth, but then they'll be mixed up with a bunch of half-truths. So they end up telling you truths and half-truths all mixed into one, and you've got no idea what you're even looking into or reading about anymore, because you've got these two completely opposing views and opposing information that's being mashed together to try and fit a certain narrative that's being put forward by one of these people, right? And that is why their stories don't make no sense when you listen to them. Now, in 2020, when the pandemic had just popped off and it was getting to its peak, he did a set of live streams with London Real on the Digital Freedom platform. And there was a collection of pre-recorded videos which got brought out and got a lot of attention. And following that, Icke did a live stream with London Real. for the first time, which was on YouTube, and I'm sure you all probably saw it because it was all over the place. Tons of people were sharing it. And we're going to come back to this very shortly, this live stream that he did, right? I just wanted to get that out there so you guys remember it. Right, let's get into these numbers. Let's dissect this nonsense real quick, right? The saga of Icke's controlled opposition starts with his appearance on Wogan in 91, yeah? Like I mentioned earlier, this was a public ritual to discredit his already built-up image, but what I didn't mention earlier, that he actually appeared on this episode on the 29th of April, yeah? Which just happens to be his birthday, the day he was born. So the day that the ritual happened that was changing the narrative of his life also happens to be the day that he was born. And guess what? The 29th of April is the 119th day of the year, which is 9/11. So not only was he born on a day that syncs up with literally the most cabal number ever, 9/11, which is obviously the Twin Towers attack, but the public ritual that was set up to determine the latter half of his life was also done on this exact same day. Like, are you being serious? And this takes on a whole new dimension when you realise that both controlled opposition and a disinformation agent sum to 119. And just to add the cherry on top of that, David Icke shares the same birthday with literally the head of the snake himself, Jacob Rothschild. Now, I get why Jacob's born on the 119th day of the year, considering that it has been him and his cohort of demons that have had their hands on the downfall of this planet for millennia. But for one of the biggest conspiracy theorists and researchers in the UK to also be born on this same day, yeah, nah, get out of here. Get that out of here. These boys are all in bed together, trust me. Right, let's move on quick. I've been talking about reptilians a lot on this channel, and the cane seed, the serpent seed and whatnot. If you're not familiar with it, go back and look over my last few videos. I firmly believe that Icke is part of this line. In fact, I pretty much know he is, right? Canaanite, David Icke, controlled op, are all a triple match. Right? Not only that, but what a shill is also a triple match with David Icke. His full name is a double match with Here to Deceive, and a triple match with Forked Tongue. And you guys know who have the forked tongues, right? The reptilians. These same entities that he's apparently trying to expose. But I don't think this is the case here at all. I think he's actually one of the biggest gatekeepers there is. He is the gatekeeper. Okay, remember earlier I mentioned that he did a live stream with London Real, which literally broke the internet for a short period of time. Well, this interview was done on May the 3rd. If you've seen my last video, this next part will speak 1,000 words to you. May the 3rd is the 123rd day of the year. Reptilians in his purest cipher sums to 123. So of course he jumps on the internet to do a groundbreaking live stream on the 123rd day of the year. Like, of course he does. I could have predicted that. These numbers don't change, yeah? How many times are we going to be talking about this number? And this is also the same day, like I said, Rishi Sunak's birthday. And this is also the same day as Margaret Thatcher, who was another reptilian who literally... No, do you know what? We'll get into Margaret Thatcher on another day because that's just going to open a can of worms. But she became the PM on this day as well, on May the 3rd, on this 123 day. Yeah, same bloodline, same rituals, same numbers, same people, same gang. And just for the sake of continuity, MT, which is Margaret Thatcher, is 132. Yeah, M is 13 and T is 20. That gives us 132, which is an amalgamation of the 123. Yeah, Rishi Sunak's birthday is on the 132nd day of the year. We did this in the last video, yeah? It's just the same stuff over and over again. Now, one more thing that needs to be mentioned before I put up the 2 clips of this man shapeshifting like there's no tomorrow is that you all know that I obviously believe that the high-ranking leaders in the Alpha Draconis are basically sentient dinosaurs, okay? And whatever cataclysm happened thousands of years ago, that's when most of them left here and went back to their own star system. However, I do believe a few survived and stayed here on Earth, right? As you all know, dinosaurs once dominated the Earth. But just imagine if a species of intelligent dinosaurs survived and evolved over 200 million years and then went underground to become what humans and abductees have described as the reptilian race today. It's really not that much of a stretch to think of. Right, anyway, when you look at most of the dinosaur fossils, where they've been found in the UK, right, you'll see that it's mostly in the southern part of the country. Yeah, and when you actually look to see where the biggest haul of dinosaur bones have ever been found and where the biggest dinosaur was found, you'll see that it was found in the Isle of Wight. And this dinosaur was called the Spinosaur. But the fact that this coincides perfectly with where David Icke lives and has lived for the majority of his life, because every time you watch a video, he bangs on about how he lives in this little 1-bedroom house on the Isle of Wight like it's some important fact. Now I realise why it's an important fact.
According to Icke, the Isle of Wight is a world within a world. With Freemasonry and Satanism at its center, the ancient ley lines scoring the landscape make it a powerful spiritual hub.
The fact that it's from there is not a coincidence. There's way too many things like linking up here. I mean, over 25 different dinosaur species have been found on the Isle of Wight alone. I mean, I don't know how you feel about that, but that is just pointing directly to one thing for me. There is too many coincidences here. Way too many coincidences. Right now I'm going to let these two videos run.
How you doing, everybody? It's PND51010, and I just wanted to do a part 2 of this material of David Icke on the InfoWars Alex Jones show of him shapeshifting. I wasn't able to capture all the shifts yesterday in the video I had released, and plus, you know, I had recorded on my iPhone, which, you know, the quality is better, but there's a certain level of shakiness, and you know, the screen acts funny, and it just obscures a lot of the some of the better shifts. So I'm just going back to my old way of doing things here. So it's just easier for me, and it's more stable. And with that being said, we're gonna get right into it. I don't want to waste you guys' time. We looked at this yesterday. Here we could see the slit pupil in David here. Like I mentioned in the last video, there's a certain level of awareness exhibited on David as whilst he's shapeshifting, and you know, you could see a certain level of discomfort and distress, you know, on his person, which is quite telling. So, just want to show you how this goes into it, and I'll show you some of the shapeshifting that we didn't see. You see how it, look at the, you know, it went from slit, it's still slit, but at the bottom here, there's almost like an extra piece of pupil. And all the while, look at this eye. You can see it's somewhat normal. It's retained some of its normal shape, while the you know, our right, his left eye is shaping uncontrollably. And then under the nose here too, you can see some in this region you can see like a weird piece of skin jut across. And you know, I just can't consciously attribute this to any type of video pixelation or artifacts, especially the slit pupils. That's why I want to focus on the slit pupils more, because that's harder to attribute it to any type of video deficiency, which most of the people do these days. You know, it's a cop-out. You know, I'm not saying that there aren't legitimate video deficiencies, which there are, but you know, I think it's rather quite easy to tell the difference at this stage in the game. You can see around his nose area still starting to be a little messed up. Alright, we're gonna fast forward to the section where you see part of his eye becomes black, almost as if his eyeball was ripped out of his socket. It's pretty strange looking, and we'll see that here. Let's see, this is similar to, I had mentioned before, similar to the video that was taken down of mine entitled Some of the Best Shapeshifting Ever Captured. And yeah, they completely took everything down there. Can't find it on my laptop, the MPEG, I can't find the source video, and I can't find the completed version. But yeah, you can see under his teeth here, look at the texture change in his chin. Around his nose area. Gets worse now. Here we can see he's degraded to the point where he's completely unrecognizable. And I want to add, after this segment here, they cut away really fast. It gets so bad to the point where they have to cut away, you know, because if you look at Alex, he's just like, oh shit. We gotta get this guy under control here, you know, because it seems Alex is a lot more adept at controlling his shapeshifting, even though there's still some evidence of Alex shapeshifting on this video, and I'll be having another video of some good slit pupils on Alex. But yeah, look at this strange flesh formation here. Crosses a bridge across his eye, and in this region you can see sort of the same thing happen here. Here's eyes start to get blacked out here, almost as if there's no eyes in the sockets. You can see the heavy masking. Yeah, it's safe to say that David has turned into a monster here. And they're going to cut away from it soon because he starts to get really bad, especially his left eye, or his right eye rather, or left. You can see it's completely as if it's been gouged out, and there's a piece missing here as well. Yeah, if anybody could find the source video of the video that was taken down, the video I had entitled Some of the Best Shapeshifting Ever Captured, if anybody could find that, that'd be great, because it's completely missing off the internet. Look at this, look at the texture on the bridge of his nose here. See, how can video artifacts or pixelation, pixels which are boxes, you know, I just don't see how it can create distinctly defined texture changes in the skin. You can see clearly right here, there's like a fold. Very strange. Try to zoom in on that as much as possible without fucking it up. Because, I don't know, this just shows some level of deceit when you're hiding who you really are or what you really are. Look at underneath his right eye there, look at that. It's like a giant big piece is missing. Completely black eye. Nose is all effed up. It's funny too, because some years ago Alex and David were nemesis, you know. I know David, or Alex rather, left a comment saying that David's information is like a turd in the punch bowl, saying that he, you know, everything's great, he gives you the meat and potatoes as far as the 5 cents conspiracy is concerned, then he drops the dump as far as the whole extraterrestrial reptilian agenda. Now all of a sudden they're buddy-buddy, you know. There's that X under his eye still there, which continues into his nose region now. Sorry about that, my dog won't shut up. Yeah, I just wanted to rehash this video because this is a good find. It's in HD, the source video is, and you know, it's hard to find good. David's very good at holding his shapeshifting. I mean, in the past he was. Now, I don't know what's going on. I guess his energy field, or the Earth's energy field, is changing, and there's no longer a vibrational rapport with his, or people like his energy system. I guess that's why you know, as the veil thins, we're starting to see more and more shape-shifting, especially through the HD, you know. See, and here's where they cut away. Boom. Cut away. One more thing, I showed you last video, I just want to show you again, just the, because we couldn't really see it because it was kind of crappy, but, right off the bat, how InfoWars, you start shape-shifting, you see this weird masking issue go on. So let me just focus on David here. I'm just going to let it run through. We're already 10 minutes in. You see in the lips, it starts to degrade in the lips. Maybe make it go a little quicker.
But I want to do that the next sec.
Alright, we see his lips start to degrade.
5 minutes we've got. In fact, I'm going to skip this.
Boom, there's that flesh bridge across the eye again, or that weird skin bridge. I don't know what you want to call it.
This breaks, so we have more time. I want you to break down where you think we are using a football analogy in the game.
Oh God, Alex, he makes me sick, this guy. He really does. He's something else. Alright, and here, I'm going to zoom in as best I can. See the thing around the nose, the little, I guess one would consider them pixels. They look like pixels, but they're not pixels. It's some type of masking, because it only appears in certain areas where the shapeshifting is extremely severe, and I've never really seen anything like it before.
I'd say we were 3 or 4 goals behind, but now we've gotten 3 or 4 more goals.
See, there it is, around the nose area, around the eye.
TV studios there in London. I know you want to get into
Yeah, I rewinded a little bit, I'm sorry.
we've got. In fact, I'm going to skip this break so we have more time. I want you to break down where you think we are using a football analogy.
A football analogy.
I'd say we were 3 or 4 goals behind.
My telephone, sorry about that.
3 or 4 more goals, and we're naked.
You see around his eye region, look how bad it starts to get. Look at that. Very strange masking.
Neck with a
Starts to get worse here.
quarter left here, and we've got the initiative.
Boom. Alright, well, I just wanted to rehash, like I said. Here's Weird Alex with a triangular eye ride and a slit pupil there. Just take a look at that real fast. It's not one of his best ones, but I'm going to be doing a video on Alex showing some pretty outstanding slit pupil. So, well, I hope you enjoyed this rehash. Be safe and be at peace. Later.